Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Garrett.
And I'm Jonathan.
Welcome to our home in Costa Mesa.
Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Scan the QR code to subscribe to our new channel, Wedding Worthy, where we celebrate amazing couples and the love stories behind their perfect day.
Hello, my name's Garrett Brewer-Sweet, and I work in the medical device industry, and I'm also work part-time in our interior design company, Brewer-Sweet Co.
My name is Jonathan Brewer-Sweet, and I'm a full-time interior designer in our company, Brewer-Sweet Co. We are currently in Costa Mesa, California. This is our 1961 bungalow-style home that we purchased as is with no inspections allowed. Thankfully, it had a good roof on it, but we have had the opportunity to completely gut and remodel the entire thing and make it our own.
So what inspired us to choose this particular home is we were looking in the area and we saw that this house was coming on the market on like one random Sunday. And so we just happened to come by and look at it. And my dad was really encouraging of like, you need to buy property in this area. It's a good area to buy property. And the house was being sold as is, but we kept looking around and there were a lot of houses that had been flipped, but we didn't like the finishes, or there were just little things that we didn't like that we would have wanted to change immediately on purchasing, after purchasing. And so to us, it was just a good property, end of a cul-de-sac. And so that's kind of what spearheaded us to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even though we knew it would be a big undertaking, being interior designers, Garrett also works with me in our interior design business, even though he also has another full-time job, helping us with kind of some back-end operations things and just some great sourcing here and there when we need it. So we thought that it would be a good opportunity for us to really fully understand the full build process, doing it ourselves instead of just working with a client. And part of the reason we decided not to buy a home that had been already flipped is you never know what's going on in the walls. Also, for the same cost of buying a home that had already been flipped, we could do this home ourselves, understand that all of the plumbing, electrical had been replaced since it was very outdated, and we could make it our own. Welcome to our living room. This is the space where we spend the majority of our time. We have a few pieces that we really love in here. First of all, this table is an antique that we found in an alleyway where we used to live. Someone had wheeled it out, as people would often do, to leave furniture to be picked up. And we were riding our bikes. We stopped our bikes, parked them, grabbed the table, put it in storage, and we had it for 2 years until we were able to move into this space. This is a painting that a friend of ours, Davis Donahue, made for us. This was her word series, so she wrote the word radiant on the canvas before she started painting, which she felt represented us, and then she used a color palette that she felt would evoke the emotion that we helped to create, and it's one of our special pieces. And this is a bust that we found in an antique store. We just thought that it paints a fun picture. And some branches. We love bringing natural life into our space.
Mm-hmm. This is the living room. I'm a huge Facebook marketplace. It's like a hobby of mine. And so these are my pride and joy Facebook marketplace finds. The couch is my pride and joy Facebook marketplace find. This is a cool old antique coffee table that we bought from a client of ours, which was great because we needed a coffee table.
Some fun books that are special and meaningful to us. A lot of people don't read coffee table books, let's be honest. But anytime we're sourcing coffee table books for ourselves or for clients, we want to make sure that they speak to the interests of each person involved. This is actually a ceramic piece that Garrett made himself. Mm-hmm. He's a ceramicist, and any ceramic piece that is styled with flowers in our home is always one of Garrett's specialties. So you'll see the Amerigo stamp on the ceramic pieces. Garrett's ceramic name is Amerigo Supply. That's his middle name and a family name, which is really fun.
This is our fireplace. So when we bought the house, it did not look like this, obviously. This was actually brick, and we had them frame out the top so we could make this kind of dramatic looking chimney situation happen. And my wonderful husband, Jonathan, did a lot of YouTube DIYs and was able to make it look like this. And we love it. It looks so cool.
When we moved into the house, the ceiling line came down to where the corner is at the top, and it was just straight across. It was awful popcorn ceiling. So thankfully, when we were here with our framer and we opened everything up, he told us that we were able to vault the ceiling, which was an amazing addition to this home, even though we're only sitting at about 1,300 square feet, which is just great for the two of us. This just makes this room in our house feel so much more open. So we're both very tall. I'm 6'4" and Garrett's 6'7". So when we first walked into this house, it definitely felt very enclosed, very small. It smelled awful.
Exactly like you think it would smell.
Exactly like you think it would. There were like black tracks going through our house. The sweet, sweet woman that we bought this house from had a walker, but unfortunately,
walkers and white carpet don't go hand in hand.
No, they don't. There were walker tracks all the way through the house. She'd owned this home about 60 years and was the original owner. So there was a lot to deal with. These lighting, as Garrett mentioned, is very important to us. These are some lights that we got from a company called Huey. We just really love kind of this rounded motif that has actually been an element that we've used throughout. You'll see a lot of arches and round shapes in our house. We just think that it breaks up a lot of the right angles that exist in a traditional ranch style 1960s California home.
And then this right here used to be a window, and we actually swapped it out for a French door because it kind of gives us the indoor-outdoor situation. The feeling,
yeah,
which
definitely.
we love.
Some more art from a local artist. This is from an artist called Keith Jensen. He operates out of Orange County, and we thought that it was just really dramatic, and this space was calling for it. This is an antique dentist desk that Garrett's grandfather acquired. We both come from families that love antiques. And it had been at Garrett's place of work for a really long time. You can see here there are actually little spouts for water and air. And right here,
the spit.
This is like a little spit area from when it was a dentist desk before.
This is like for all the tools. I think
there are even like some organizers up here for all of the different dental tools. And we thought that it would make a perfect bar. So
As one does.
So we turned it into a bar. It does have an accordion top that comes up, but we folded it down. It's great for entertaining. We've hosted many parties using this desk. And then we added in the wine glass holders down below, and then just a little wine rack to really complete the piece. And last, our rug in this room. This is an oversized jute rug. We love using jute rugs in projects and for our own home. Just add some great natural texture. They break down over time and become so soft and lovely. And when we moved into this home, the rug before was a little bit undersized. So we're also big fans of giant oversized rugs, even if they extend past the pieces of furniture that you have, because it just adds a really great softness to a room and makes everything feel really grounded. We always want to make sure that a rug in a room, every piece of furniture is touching the rug. It'll just make everything feel grounded and like it's its own separate space. Brewer-Sweet Co is our interior design business. Garrett and I have both always been interested in interior design. And when we moved in together just before COVID hit, we designed our place, got a lot of positive feedback from it. We were both at a bit of a juncture where we were considering what we wanted to do for work long term. And I especially was looking to spread my wings, start my own business. So Garrett and I started the business together. We were both working just nights and weekends to start for the first couple years, really maximizing our time, slowly building our client list. We were also able to find a mentor who really kind of helped accelerate our business. Her name is Stephanie Hunt. The Flair Hunter is her brand. And she took us under her wing to really, mentor what it takes to be a successful interior designer, how to deal with build projects. Right now, our current docket is mostly remodels of about the size of 2,500 square feet or more. And we are working on a few ground up builds and starting more ground up builds in the future. So we take on projects anywhere from styling and refurnishing home and decorating, adding drapery, all the way to full ground up build from conception, all the way to finalization and install. Our biggest markets right now have been Southern California. This is where the majority of our work is, but about 45% of our work right now is actually in Park City, Utah, interestingly enough. So we split our time between both locations pretty frequently.
So balancing my full-time job with Brewer-Sweet Co can be a little bit full on. Sometimes as Brewer-Sweet Co's gotten bigger, I've been able to do more back-end stuff, which I do at my day job a lot. So there is a lot of overlap in like the day-to-day operations of the medical device industry and also running Excel sheets and invoicing and all the back-end data that people don't really see with Brewer-Sweet Co. So we were able to find a good balance. Obviously, sometimes it's a little bit hectic, but it's growing pains and that just kind of comes with the territory. And we knew that getting into it, and I know that going into it. So it's been good. Trial and error. Okay, and that's it for our family room. And so now we'll go on to the kitchen.
This is our dining room area that's off the kitchen. We found these chairs once again on Facebook Marketplace, thanks to Garrett. These are from a consignment and European antique resale store that we really love, and they had posted them and we went and picked them up, which works super well with our table. This is another one of Garrett's Amerigo Supply ceramic pieces.
This is from college. It's like one of the OGs, one of the first ceramic pieces I ever did.
Totally. We get
one of my favorites.
Yeah, we get so many compliments on this space, and occasionally we'll sell pieces of Garrett's to clients, but this one is not for sale.
No.
I really love it. This light fixture is actually an IKEA light fixture. They will oftentimes partner with different artists or creators. They partnered with a Swedish
lighting designer to create this line. And it was something that while we were renovating our house, we were messaging back and forth like, oh my gosh, did you just see this lighting line that was created? We have to be first in line. So we set a reminder, went online at 9 a.m. the day that it was dropped, and it sold out in 2 hours. So I'm so glad that we were able to get our hands on it because it looks really special and architectural and definitely continues that same kind of arched motif that you'll see a lot throughout our home. Moving into the kitchen, these are some really fun bar chairs that we found from Sun at 6. That, it's funny, as you're an interior designer, you sometimes make decisions that you're like, was that a little bit too out there? And when I first saw these chairs, I thought they were a little out there, but now that they're in our kitchen, they're great. They're great, and they feel so at home, and they're very comfortable. So back here is so we actually installed this slider over here, was not here when we first started construction. And so we installed it. And so we did these sheer curtains all the way to the ceiling to try to make the ceiling feel a little bit taller. And it's very dreamy. I love it. And when you have the windows open and the wind's blowing through the back, it's just the best feeling ever. And so I love it. And it's just a cool little statement piece, and it looks cool when they're all kind of shoved into the corner. So yeah, we really like our shears.
Yeah, I love that. I love how sheer curtains pick up the light as well, so that it can create that kind of dreamy feel as Garrett was mentioning, but they'll really reflect all of the light that's happening outside to make a really diffused effect. Moving into our kitchen, beforehand, this kitchen was a bit shorter. It came up to about here, but there was still a peninsula on this side.
Relatively the exact same layout.
Relatively the same layout. There were some uppers on this side, which really closed off the kitchen, so we removed those. We love open shelves on this side, just so that it makes the kitchen feel more open, especially trying to figure out a way to maximize the size of this space. Neither of us are a huge fan of can lights. They are oftentimes a necessary evil because sometimes you do need to turn on the big light. But in our kitchen, we decided that instead of doing can lights, we would do surface mount lights. We found these beautiful handmade lights from Shop Amber Interiors, and they've patinaed in a really beautiful way. So we love just having those as a bit more jewelry to bring your eye up in this space. And we didn't have enough ceiling height to hang pendants anywhere. So this was a way to get around that and still have some nice lighting. This oven hood is another one that we did ourselves when we did the fireplace. We wanted it to feel like it fit the overall theme. And I just love how big and open this space feels, which leads us into the butler's pantry. This was our washing and drying machines before, a little laundry area. And there was actually a door going from our bathroom into the outside. So we were able to close up the door to the bathroom, closed the door to the outside, made this into a nice little butler's pantry. And since we do not have a built-in refrigerator, we decided to just hide it in the butler's pantry. And we're able to kind of tuck away our coffee machine and some of our other appliances behind there as well, which just keeps a nice clean feel.
So for our cabinet color, it's actually more of a sand color. When we were deciding, we were choosing between flat front and a shaker, but we knew we wanted shaker because it's a little bit more traditional. We didn't want to go too modern. And then they offered us a normal gray, a white, or this pretty sand color. And we just thought it was a beautiful taupey. It's a little bit different. It's not too far out there. And it's, again, really warm. We also splurged for some bigger handles just because we like the pull of them, the feel of them. And I think it just kind of adds to the whole vibe of the kitchen.
Yeah. Nice hardware makes such a difference.
Yes, hardware is everything.
Yes. And the countertops, we wanted, once again, we kind of wanted to read that line between something that was a little bit cooler and a little bit warmer. We love a warm undertone in the designs that we do. This is actually a Calcutta Maggio Duo countertop. So it has cool and warm veining throughout, but it keeps it very neutral. Since this is not a big space, we didn't want to do something too flashy. We really wanted to keep that open feel. Sometimes when we're working with clients in a bigger space, we'll put stone that's a little bit more dramatic, but this we wanted to feel very quiet. We wanted it to feel very calm. And that's why we ultimately went with this countertop that also became the backsplash going all the way up, so that you don't have a lot of different elements competing with each other. But that also left room for this beautiful checkerboard, white and black marble flooring that was very important to us. So you'll see it in a few of the different areas. We did use a luxury vinyl plank flooring for our floors, just due to the style of the home, the size of the home, also our budget when we were remodeling. We decided against going with a real wood flooring. We also have dogs and a big backyard. So we wanted to find something that would be pretty bulletproof when dogs were running in and out, if we ever needed to clean it and mop it. This also saved us a lot of money in our overall budget so that we could spend a bit more money towards things like hard surfaces, tile, that sort of thing. And it's turned out to be a really great product that has been bulletproof. We also went with a wide plank because that makes it a little bit more of an updated feel. We love that kind of Scandinavian, Swedish, Norwegian style where they use a nice wide wood plank flooring to make it feel like it has a historical and classic element to it as well. So I would describe our overall design style as California coastal and desert inspired. We love a warm neutral base with pops of jewelry box elements throughout. So we love the bright contrast of strong colors, really interesting powder bathrooms, throw pillows, other art and accessories throughout that really bring out the life in a home. We also really love a transitional French country style peppered in with antique wood elements, found pieces of furniture, things that are historical and have a lot of meaning and special significance to not only ourselves, but to clients.
I'd say that nails it. Also, we like our homes to be cozy to a home that you can come and put your feet up on the couch and not feel like you're gonna get screamed at for it. My favorite space, probably this room, our like family room, I guess you would call it. I think it's cozy, I think it's small, it's the perfect size for us. It's great afternoon sunlight. I love our fireplace. I don't know, I think it's also the perfect example of who we are as people and our interior design style.
My favorite part in our home would probably be our kitchen. I do all of the cooking in our home in terms of our split of responsibilities, and I love our kitchen. We were able to expand it when we remodeled. I'm so glad that we did not turn our home into an open concept, which we had considered in one of the renovation iterations. And it's so nice to have kind of a slightly closed off space where if we're entertaining, we can keep the dishes on the counter, but it also gives me ample room to work with. And I love that we were able to transition what was the laundry area off the kitchen into a nice butler's pantry with some really fun checkerboard marble flooring. And it just makes me really happy that we can hide some of our appliances back there, keep them off the counters, and it's just a really usable space. All right, that's it for the kitchen. Let's keep going through the house. All right, transitioning into our hallway.
So right here, again, we don't like the big lights. So we instead, house up, had these cool, kind of funky surface mounts. And so we're like, let's just install those. Why not do those? Yep. And so we just think they're kind of fun and funky. And then nope, okay. And then right here is our guest bathroom. So the old door used to be right here into the laundry room, which we removed and we brought everything this way. We did a wainscot all the way up to halfway up the wall. So the next person that comes in to buy the house, if they have kids, it's a little more stupid proof. It's a little more waterproof. And it also just adds a kind of a cool element. And we did a black grout because it's easier to clean. And with a penny tile floor, no one wants to clean white grout penny tile. And this is our bathroom.
Yeah, plus it makes it just feel a little bit more elevated using that contrasting grout instead of just a standard subway that you might see in a regular space. Here's our home office. This is where a lot of our core design work happens. We each have our own desks here. This is kind of our HQ. We also love a gallery wall moment. So this is a great way for us to be able to feature art that we've collected over time, things that matter to us. This is an antique bartender's guide poster that a friend of ours got for us, art that we've acquired from different areas, a little illustration of Garrett and I that I got Garrett for one of our first Valentine's days. A few spots. Paris is really important to the both of us. We go to Design Week in Paris every year and we spend a lot of time there together. These are some posters that we got on the streets of Paris. Some leaves that Garrett brought back from Park City, Utah, which is another
Collected
place.
them on a hike.
Yeah, that's really important to us.
This is a picture of my friend painted of when we got engaged. This was the view at the Airbnb. So again, we try to make sure our art ties into who we are as people and is a reflection of who we are and is important to us.
Yeah. And then, view out to the front. And also our sample library lives in this space until we have a full-time office for us and our staff to exist in. This is the beauty of a home interior designer store where we have all of our fabric, tile samples, that kind of thing. It's starting to grow outside of the space that we have. But we also, when we started our office, we had about 2 levels of samples, and then the rest was all of Garrett's ceramics. Poor Garrett is getting forced to the garage because we only have about 1.5 shelves left, but it's a good way to display some of the things that he's made.
Okay, so this is my ceramic display, as Jonathan calls it. So this was, for one of my first college projects, I had to do my initials. And so I did this. And then when I picked up ceramics again after college and Jonathan and I were dating, I was like, well, he needs initials. So then I gave him his initials of John. He was at the time Jonathan Sweet. And so now we're Jonathan and Garrett Brewer-Sweet. And that's how it kind of ties together. And these are all just my ceramic pieces. This is a little bit of gray and white clay together. You like mash it together and then throw it, which is kind of cool. And just a lot of cool pieces. This is I was going for like an ice cream situation as if it was like melting ice cream coming off the side of it. And yeah, these are just all this is a little incense holder for Palo Santo. I have a special place in my heart for ceramics. My biggest go-to home design tip is lighting is the jewelry of the house. Do a lot of research in lighting, find cool lighting. I just think people will find one sconce or whatever and they'll do it everywhere. And to me, it just looks really repetitive. And so I think it's important to show cool lighting and just, that's really important to me, I guess you could say.
It's a great one. My go-to home design tip is to make sure you are checking your paint colors in all lights before you commit to painting your walls. So many times we only paint a little sample area in one place or the other. We love to use a company called Samplize, and they will send you 12 by 12 sticky sheets of almost any paint color out there. And we will always tell clients choose at least 3 paint colors, which we are typically providing. Stick the samples up on your walls and move them throughout the day because a warm white can look very cool depending on what the color temperature of your light bulbs is. So you might want to go a slightly warmer paint color, or it could change in the sunlight. Sometimes paints really change depending on what lights or shadows are hitting them. So I would encourage you to always take your paint colors throughout the house before you commit. Now let's transition to the rest of the house. First of all, this is our drama hallway, as we like to call it. When we bought this house, it was a 3-bedroom, but there was no access to the garage. So we took it down to a 2-bedroom so that we could make our bedroom and bathroom bigger. And we also added this direct access because we moved the laundry to the garage. Garrett is our laundry master. Didn't want him to have to go outside through our roll-up garage door to access the machines. When we were in Detroit, Michigan, a friend of ours named Sarah Bacon, who runs the account Opulist, which is a way to find aesthetic places near you, she had told us to go to the Siren Hotel. There's a bar there called the Candy Bar that she really loved. They had this dramatic hallway leading from the bar area into their restrooms. And we thought, what a great way to make a space that's typically just transitional into something that's a design element. So they had a black and white checkerboard flooring that we found so inspirational. So we added that here. They used a really dark wall color to paint wash the entire space. And then they had sconces along the wall periodically. So we took some of the motifs that they had been inspired by and added them to our space. I'm really glad that we added cages around these lights because we hit these all the time coming through our hallway. And it wasn't something we thought about when doing such a high circulation area, but it's definitely something that's been a good element as we've lived in the home.
Yeah. Okay, and on to the bedroom right over here.
Welcome to our bedroom. This is a space that we put a lot of love and attention to detail into. First of all, we love our canopy bed. This is by one of our favorite designers, Leanne Ford, in her collaboration with Crate & Barrel. We've had this for a long time. It's moved with us a couple times. And in this space, we wanted to keep it very calming and have emulating kind of a spa feel. I was feeling very inspired to paint our ceiling with stripes. Garrett, it took a little bit of convincing. When
I was a very supportive husband and just went along with it.
Yeah, he went along with it. He trusted my vision, and we loved the way that it turned out. We were actually having our house shot to be featured in AD, and it was the night before our shoot. We had rushed home from a family wedding, and we stayed up until 2 a.m. painting the ceiling because I was so adamant that we had to have the ceiling for our photo shoot. And they ended up not even using a photo of our bedroom in this spread. But now it's done, which is great. Yep. We are really into simple bedding these days. A lot of folks are very passionate about their bedding and love a lot of pillows, something more traditional, but we love something really simplistic. And Garrett actually found this bed cover.
Yes, it's from Cultivar, and it's just great for like, easy to make the bed. What's underneath can hang off the side and no one sees it. I love it. Yeah. It's great.
Mm-hmm. And then other art that we've acquired from different antique stores, things that are meaningful to us, places that we love. This is our dog Macaroni. A friend of ours had this made for us a few years ago for Christmas. It's just really nice to have a few pieces around.
Yeah, almost all of this is bought antiqued or second. I mean, basically antiqued.
Yeah.
We're really big on antiquing, if you can't tell.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we love new art as well, but anything that we can find that has some sort of significance and will allow us to reuse a piece that's already out in the world, I think it's really great for sustainability. It's also just really interesting to have pieces that have cultural or historical significance in your home as well. And moving over here, tried to create a fun space underneath our TV. Obviously, we don't love black TVs, so we really enjoy using frame TVs when at all possible if you can't hide a TV.
And that's it for the bedroom.
Yes.
And now we'll go into the bathroom.
All right, moving into our bathroom. Once again, really wanting to bring in kind of that spa, relaxing feel in our bathroom. This was actually the primary bedroom when we first moved into this house. Yep. We obviously moved this wall, but we reconfigured this space so that we could have a bigger closet, have a bigger bathroom. Before it was just a postage stamp with like a toilet, pedestal sink, and a tiny little stand-up shower. So it was great being able to make a double vanity for the both of us to use. Love this tile that we use in the bathroom with a larger penny tile on the bottom that is just a little bit different than you would typically see. And the mixes of blues and neutral tones, tans, taupe colors, just makes me really happy.
And we decided to tile the ceiling just for a little bit of extra, you know, just because, why not?
Yeah. And then these pieces over here, Garrett, why don't you talk about those pieces?
This is from an Instagram account called Vintage Barbie and Ken. And so these are all shot in real time. And like, so this is actually at the beach and like, this is people swimming out there. It's really cool. And again, it's like Jonathan and I. It's just a fun little piece that we enjoy and has a little bit of character to it.
Yeah, definitely. The artist is really interesting. He uses forced perspective to create these moments that feel like they are Barbies or Kens living in real life.
This up here, another vintage light we sourced from the well in Summerlin. We just liked it because it added a little bit of character to the bathroom, which is really important to us.
Yeah, I love that it's not perfect. It's an old enamel light and you can see it has like some chips and dings in it. It just speaks to the historical context that this light's been around for a while. We love that mix of old and new so that when you're walking in a space, it doesn't feel totally sterile or like it's just come out of a box. We love there to be elements that are a mix to create that kind of historical factor that something might have been there forever, it might not have been. This rug is a rug that actually when we were in Santa Barbara for a friend's wedding, there were a few hours between the wedding and the reception. So we were walking down State Street. There was this big fair going on and we couldn't stop looking at these beautiful antique Persian rugs that someone was selling. And we stopped. We decided to purchase it. We weren't even sure
where it was going to go
at that time since we were still under construction. And we walked to lunch with this rug rolled up in our suits with all of our friends in their formal wear. and had it with us, and then we stashed it before the reception and we were able to bring it home, and it's been the perfect addition to our bathroom. To me, home means a space where you feel the most comfortable and like you can be absolutely yourself. We always say when we're working with clients that we really want the home to help bring out part of the soul of the person we're designing for or the family. I think it's really important that a home reflects your interests, your personality, but also the way that you want to exist in the world and the type of spaces that really bring you a lot of joy and that you want to be interacting with the most. It should be a space where you feel safe, where you feel inspired, and where you ultimately feel at your most comfortable.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that and say, like, right off the bat, a home is a place where you feel comfortable, a place where you feel as a reflection of who you are as a person, and is not like the last thing you want to do is go into a home that feels sterile. I think it's really important that a house reflects who you are. And so to me, that's what a home is. And also the people you surround yourself in your home, you know what I mean? Your family. And so it all collectively comes together to make a home, in my opinion.
All right, Homeworthy, that's all the time we have for today. It's time to get back to our design work that's waiting for us, but we really appreciate you taking the time to look through our home.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.